Throughout the filming of Haunting History and our time in the field, we've explored some amazing places. Everyone has their favorites, but sometimes a place stands out and speaks to you. Over the last couple of years, we've visited the Garnett House Hotel on several occasions. It quickly grew into one of our top haunts due to the level of activity and our experiences within its walls. After personally spending some time alone inside and getting up close and personal with the spirits of the house, I feel I've developed a connection with this location.
Can I hear your voice? Did you hear it?
The bond we've built has brought us back to the 1858 Garnett House Hotel. It's no surprise that this building has such a haunting history. Built in 1858, it served as a stop for John Brown, who hid slaves in the attic on their way to freedom. During its days as a hotel, notable figures were frequent occupants. Names like Wyatt Earp, Bat Masterson, Wild Bill Hickok, and Buffalo Bill Cody, and more, were known to have stayed at this location. Through time, the building changed functions from a hotel to a school and to a doctor's office. Remnants remain to serve as a reminder of its past. Since being purchased by Rob Garcia and Justin Spurrier, new life is being given with their restoration efforts. Looking back on past investigations, it was clear that we needed to return to Garnett to kick off this season of haunting history. In doing so, an opportunity came up that we were excited to be a part of. We teamed up with the Paranormal Research Institute, who has been conducting research combining paranormal investigating and collecting data on random events using a random number generator.
My name is Dan Williams. I am the founder and current director of the Paranormal Research Institute. I have been investigating for about 30 years now, all said and done. The PRI was actually formed in 2016 with the intent on investigating in a true scientific method. So cartography is simply, we have one individual who sits outside of the investigation and logs everything that all the researchers are working with. So as soon as they have a discovery, they radio it back, and then it's logged by the cartographer into basically a rolling log file that will continue for the entire investigation. That gives us the ability at the end of the investigation to go back and see if we have events correlating, to see if we have, outside noise that's been measured and marked and things like that. Basically gives us an entire overview of the investigation. And tonight is our third run using the RNG, which is a random number generator. And what we're doing with that is we will synchronize that. If it creates a hit, if the log file on that triggers, then we will match that with any paranormal activity that's occurring. So far we've done 2 other tests. We're running really good results. We have a p-value, which is basically the statistic probability of it happening, First investigation was 1 in 100,000 chance. The second investigation was 1 in 80,000 chance. We're running about 70% accuracy between the two of them.
Well, my name's Mike Nichols, and I work with PRI. And for years I taught parapsychology, and it kind of culminated in my teaching parapsychology at the University of Missouri at Kansas City, a graduate level program. So just been fascinated with the whole paranormal thing all my life, ever since I was a young kid. And I guess it was about two years ago. Yeah, it was when I first met Dan. And at that time, we didn't really get to work together too much. But when I came back the following year to do a talk there, I got to listening to Dan's talk. And he was, of all of the, I think of pretty much of all the people that were giving presentations at KC Paracon, he was the one who talked mostly about how to approach this more scientifically. And that was exactly what I was looking for, because I had this crazy idea about using a random number generator in investigations of haunted houses. And in order to do that, I knew I would have to work with a team that logged everything, time-stamped everything, and approached their research in a very methodical way.
So the Garnett House has actually just kind of messed with us. We didn't have a whole lot of overt activity like we were expecting, but we had a lot of things that we couldn't explain. For instance, one time Mike and I were sitting down in our team room, and he was comparing the results from the investigation we'd done at the Beatty Mansion, and said, Garnett's kind of slowed down. Activity's not doing a whole lot. If we don't have another hit in the next hour, statistically, Beatty is seriously outperforming Garnett. We'd have to have at least one more hit in the next hour for it to even tie. And within 1 minute of him saying that, we not only had one hit, we had two hits, the second being the strongest that we'd ever had within 20 seconds of each other. So statistically, it was an almost impossibility that it would have happened other than a direct answer to his statement.
One of the things that for me was difficult was to say, okay, how do we operationally define a paranormal event outside of what the random number generator is doing? I mean, it could be anything. It could be the movement of an object. It could be a shadow moving across the wall that somebody saw. In other words, it could be some objective thing like an EMF meter that suddenly spikes. Or it could be somebody's feeling, if they just got an overpowering feeling, or feeling of coldness as they walked into a room. Any of those things could have happened, and some of those things did happen in our last investigation. But what we try to do is, as soon as one of those things happened, then the researcher would key their walkie-talkie and say, I've just had this experience, and we note down the time, and we see if the RNG is within an anomalous reading from the RNG is within 3 minutes of it. So, yeah, I think there were things like moving, some of the objects in the house moved, and people had, strange feelings of presences. I can't remember all the details because I wasn't as focused on what those things were as I was focused on when they were. So.
Tonight is the third test of the cartography and the RNG synchronization. If we get numbers tonight anywhere near what we've had in the other two investigations, then we do call that experiment a success. The RNG will become one of our standardized investigation tools. We'll be doing some research papers on it, and we're actually going to be applying for a grant for further research for it from a university overseas. So kind of an important investigation tonight.
Before we started the investigation, we had a meeting to make sure that everyone was on the same page for the RNG experiment.
I'm going into it with a different mindset. Last time I heard some of the claims of what happens here, and I was probably focusing more on that. Unfortunately for me, none of that stuff happened. So tonight I'm going in with an empty slate, so to speak. Is there anybody here that would like to talk to us tonight? we please have a name? Again, my name is Scott.
I'm Peggy. I'm Lisa.
We're here tonight just to communicate with you. I'm not here to hurt you. These devices are harmless.
The bookcase in here has a lot of esoteric books in it. There's books on magic, books on psychology, books on world history. Can you tell me whose books those were? And did you have a fascination with this subject, exactly what we're trying to do right now? We're working to prove the existence of the afterlife. If you could help us out with that, it would be really helpful.
If there are any spirits in this room with us, can you tell me what this room used to be back when this building was built?
Can you tell us what happened to you and why you might still be here?
Are there any female spirits in this house? Yes or no?
Can you give us a number of entities in this room? Dan sitting down again.
So what's going to happen right now is everybody's compiling in this room. They're going to do a seance. We've got Scott in the command center. He's going to be our cartographer. And while this is going on, and Barry's going to be filming this, I'll be upstairs with a camera, just sitting up there, seeing if anything happens while they're doing this. And I've got a radio. They'll have a radio. They can walkie. Scott, let them know what's going on.
What are you doing?
Thing for the camera. You walk right into it.
Hi, sorry.
High five.
Sorry.
I know you're here, and I can feel you. Would you please try at least using the board? It's really not that difficult. Excuse me, it's making me.
I am up here in this room. Earlier today we had blocks come off of that shelf, and nobody was rolling on camera. Happened right after
Dan's interview. Excuse me. They are downstairs doing a seance right now. And I'm just up here observing. So. There's a lot of people that don't know that you exist. That's what we're doing here. We want to show people that you do exist, that you are real. Don't you want people to know that? Peggy, right there. I'm getting the same thing. You gotta make a loud noise for me. I just had a breath up here, loud.
Peggy and I are both feeling a pressure right at the Adam's apple point of our throats.
I just want to say that this that I just heard happened on command up here.
It happened on command.
I want to say thank you for that. That was very excellent.
Please direct your energy to the board and communicate with us that way. We know you're here.
It's getting worse. I gotta walk out for a minute, guys.
All right, Dan. I know you can do this. You have very strong energy. I can feel it. Would you please use the board?
During their seance, Dan, Peggy, and John all felt a pressure on their throat. For Dan, the pressure was so heavy, he felt compelled to leave the room. After a quick break, I returned to the second floor with Scott. After his previous investigation of the 1858 Garnett House Hotel, he was not under the impression that the location was haunted. All of that was about to change, as the activity once again seemed to respond to my requests.
I am in place upstairs if they're ready to start the seance.
Dave, how about I hang out here with you for a while?
Yeah, that's fine.
You started a minute ago. Okay.
Well, Scott,
Yeah,
you want to sit
yeah, I'll sit in whatever room, it don't matter to me.
on the couch in there?
Yeah. Kill that light when I come in.
Yeah. Knowing you're good.
Okay, I'm set.
That light in the closet come on?
Yeah. Is that ready to let in?
It shouldn't come on.
Well, I walked not too far away from it though.
Oh, it shouldn't come on.
The closet in this room has a motion light set up facing the inside of the closet. This was the first time it had come on all night, and wouldn't be the last.
Okay, so we've had the lights coming on in the closet there on the motion sensor. Just watch that room there. That's where Scott is, in the slanted room. I'm going to remain here with you. Let's see what we can get.
Okay. we're going to redo this, and we're going to try with this board. And it might be easier for you to move it. It's a slicker surface, and it doesn't have the electrical charge. So,
Okay, ready?
Okay, now we're on a completely different board.
Or do we have to? Yeah, I guess that's the right way because it says it that way. Okay.
Talking to whoever made some noise up here for me earlier. If you've noticed, in the other room there's another gentleman. His name is Scott. He's not here to hurt you. He's not here to harm you. He just wants to talk to you like I'm talking to you. He doesn't know that you're here. I've told you that people don't know that you exist, and he's one of them. I'd like for him to know that you exist. That you're real. Can you make a loud noise for him?
Can you tell us if you're willing to talk to us? There's a yes on the top of the board, a no in the opposite corner on the right, and then a goodbye. You just move it on any direction you want. Just let us know you're here. Even if you can just move it a little bit, that would be very gratifying. I'm pretty convinced you can do it. You have very strong energy.
Is that you that just breathe real loud?
Did you hear a breath?
Yeah, I heard a breath like an exhale.
That wasn't me.
Mike, I just heard a loud exhale upstairs.
Room 10?
Dude.
The closet light just turned on.
Dude, seriously.
Yeah.
Fucking right after that breath, that thing turned on.
Yep. I see it.
Holy fuck. There's something up here, dude.
You believe me now?
Holy shit.
Calm down. So the light in that room came on, in the closet, right after he heard an exhale. Was that bang in there?
Now the light just turned off.
I see.
Hey, Scott, where were you?
What room number?
Room 10.
I'm in room 10.
Mike, I'm sitting alone in room 10.
And the closet light just came back
The
on.
light just came on again.
Mike, the motion detector light just came on again after being turned off. Copy that.
Something's toying with us.
It's showing you, dude. I told it to show you that it exists. Did I not?
It worked, dude. Because, I don't know if Dan ever told you, but I'm kind of skeptical sometimes.
Yeah. How about now?
I'm starting to think differently now.
Can you do that one more time for us?
Yeah, one more time, please.
3 times would be amazing. There's a loud bang.
I was going to say,
Mike, I just heard a loud bang sound come from downstairs.
yeah,
There it is.
dude.
Got that third door down here. Okay, the closet light just came on again in direct response for the 3rd time.
Holy shit.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I think we've asked him to do enough, right? 3 times?
Yeah, 3 times is good. Thank you to the spirits that are up here, whoever's up here.
I appreciate it. My buddy Dave asked you to say hi and to show me that you were here, and you've done exactly that.
Yeah, when you go to an EVP session inside the closet for me.
If your answer is yes to what happened to you, please move it to yes. If that's you got in a fight and you were either choked or you choked someone else. I think it was you that got choked. Am I right? That you were telling us what happened to you? Okay, thank you.
There we go.
So I get it now. I see why you were trying to let us know what had happened to you. You got choked. Okay, now that you figured out how to do this, can you spell out your name? Okay, spell out your name for us.
C.
First letter is C.
229, we're starting to get movement and interaction.
Okay, we understand the first letter of your name is C. Can you spell the second letter for us now? You're doing a great job. I'm really, thank you very much. Keep going though. C-O. Okay. The next letter. What's the next letter? Okay, keep going. C-O-D. Is that right? C-O-D? C-O-D-O. Okay, keep going. Can you see that? Is it F?
Looks like it's at the F.
Okay, C-O-D-O-F. Okay. Q. C-O-D-O-F-Q.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you meant? No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Shall we start over?
Now downstairs, there's a gentleman with white hair. He's in a room all by himself. Is there anything you could do to show him that you exist? To prove to him that you're real? Maybe you could pull his hair or push him. Say something to him. Kind of like you did for Scott and myself. What was that?
That's my stomach.
That sounded like a voice.
Oh no, I just.
Like it went, have the...
Oh that wasn't me, dude. My stomach might have growled for 1 second, but that was it.
Radio then, see if somebody said something real loud. Or coughed. Or...
Did somebody just cough downstairs?
That we heard.
If you listen closely, you can hear the faint sound of what I heard with my own ears.
What was that?
That's my stomach. Should I radio it in there? That's what we heard, Dan? Or Dave?
Well, to me it sounded like a voice. It didn't sound like a cough, but yeah, radio that Dave heard something.
Dave heard what sounded like either a voice or a cough, but we could not tell exactly what it said.
Would it have been casted in something?
You got EVP going on that camera, right?
Yeah, camera's rolling audio.
Yeah, Dave's camera and audio are running, and it's room number 10.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
As the night drew to an end, we said our goodbyes and patiently waited for the results of the RNG analysis. So far, what we know is that when the random number generator shows an event or hit that correlates to an experience, the odds of such an experience has ranged from 1 out of tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of chances. More tests and research will be done, as a new door is being opened and true exploration of scientific analysis is advancing our haunting history.